June has been an absolute roller coaster of a month with all kinds of huge announcements coming out of various showcases. In fact, it's been so chock-a-block that we barely noticed it was practically June already. Fortunately, there's a ton of great stuff in store for this month too, so let's take a look.
We're going to kick things off with something that snuck in under the wire on the very last day of June. It is the launch of the Xbox app for Samsung Smart TVs. Somehow, Xbox just keep on finding more ways for us to play, and this latest one is incredibly cool if you ask me, allowing Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members to stream games directly to their TV. You heard that right, no console, no nothing. Just download the app, hook up a controller, and boom, you've now got access to the Game Pass library's hundreds of cloud-compatible games. And even if you don't have a Game Pass membership, you can still stream Fortnite for free.
With their talent for strange worlds and mesmerizing stories, Annapurna Interactive have always kind of done things their own way, and they'll continue that trend by hosting their very own showcase around a month after everybody else on July 28th. We don't know exactly what to expect. Last year's showcase gave us our first glimpse of the melancholy narrative adventure A Memoir Blue, and also nailed down a release date for psychedelic platformer The Artful Escape, both of which are currently available on Xbox and PC Game Pass, just in case you were wondering.
Multiversus looks set to be one of 2022's wackiest titles, bringing together characters from across the Warner Bros. Verse to do battle in a free-to-play platform fighter. That means Batman fighting Bugs Bunny, the Iron Giant throwing down with Steven Universe, and Arya Stark squaring off against Velma from Scooby-Doo. All of those sentences are true things you can do. It's the sort of completely absurd scenario that a 5-year-old in the midst of a sugar rush might come up with, and we are so here for it, which is why we cannot wait for the open beta that's set to take place sometime in the next month. We do currently have a whole video on tips and tricks to help you get ahead, which you can find in that little card right up in that top corner there. But while we always love the little taster which a beta provides, let's move on to the games that you can actually fully sink your teeth into this July.
The month really kicks things off with a bang thanks to Far Cry 5 making its way to Xbox Game Pass on July 1st. This acclaimed entry in the open world shooter series takes players to a quiet little region of Hope County, where, sadly, the whole county has been taken over by apocalyptic weirdos. So it's up to you to set things right, systematically working your way across the map by doing recon, claiming territories, and building alliances to slowly shift the balance of power. Or, I guess you could just charge around blasting at bad guys and see what happens. The point is that Far Cry 5 gives you the freedom to play however you like, while also managing to tell an incredibly compelling story about faith, community, and why you should never, ever join a cult.
Nobody, I repeat nobody, knows the importance of being first better than a race car driver, so it makes sense that F1 2022 would be speeding in on the very first day of the month. It's looking more immersive than ever, allowing players to participate in every single stage of the race, from taking part in the formation lap to guiding their team through the pit stops and dealing with any errors that might crop up. The game's adaptive AI should also ensure that whether you're a seasoned racer or a newbie driver, F1 2022 will be able to provide you with a satisfying level of challenge.
Xbox's sporting summer continues 6 days later with Matchpoint Tennis Championships, taking to the court on the 7th. Thanks to some 1,300 unique motion captured animations, Matchpoint's on-court action is stunningly lifelike, capturing all the tactical nuances of the sport. It's all about anticipating your opponent's next move, selecting the right shot for the moment, and then delivering it with just the right amount of power. Best of all, it's going to be served up straight onto Xbox Game Pass, where Xbox Series X gamers can enjoy the action in full 4K Ultra HD as they make their way towards Wimbledon glory.
But if you would rather eschew the summer sunshine and get an early start on Halloween, I see you spooky folks, the first-person horror game MADISON will be clambering up from the depths of hell to scare us all senseless on July 8th. You play as Luca, a guy with some serious personal demons. Or just one demon actually, but it's the sort of actual literal demon that likes to lock people up and force them to commit horrifying ancient rituals. As you wander through the rooms of the game's eerie manor, you'll have nothing more to protect yourself than a clunky old Polaroid camera. And going on from what we've seen in the game already, I really don't think that's going to be enough.
July is also the month that As Dusk Falls arrives onto Game Pass on the 19th. the very first day of its release. Inspired by the likes of Breaking Bad and Fargo, this heart-wrenching narrative adventure concerns the fates of two families, whose lives are thrown into disarray by a robbery gone wrong. From that point on, the story is filled with difficult decisions that can have a profound impact on the fates of each character and their relationships to each other. But it's not just about the outcome. As Dusk Falls will also make you think about the reason behind each decision you make, and the values that drive your choices. To make things really interesting, it can even be played cooperatively with up to 7 other players locally and online for what promises to be either a deeply moving and therapeutic narrative gaming experience or a typhoon of pure emotional carnage.
Take it from me, raising a child is hard. Raising a whole bunch of them simultaneously is even harder. But raising a bunch of them while the world around you is beset with all manner of environmental disasters, and you are in fact just a simple fox, well, that does sound actually really, really hard indeed. Arriving on July 19th, Endling Extinction is Forever is a side-scrolling adventure in which you have to guide your precious furry little children through the polluted remains of our world. Not only will you need to protect and feed them, you're also going to have to teach them some survival skills of their own. With its gorgeous cel-shaded art style and its powerful eco-message, Endling Extinction is going to make you think and break your heart all at the same time.
Easily the crudest game on display at this year's Summer of Gaming showcase, Hellpie is a 3D platformer with a passion for obscenity, the likes of which we haven't seen since Conker's Bad Fur Day. Playing as a put-upon demon named Nate, your mission is to travel the world and search for the ingredients needed to bake Satan a pie. At least you won't get lonely on your journey, since Nate and his angel companion Nugget are literally inseparable. What with the great big chain and all. Filled with gross-out humour, salacious content, and just a general lack of decorum, Hellpie will be here to delight and disgust us all on the 21st.
Wayward Strand is a story-driven game set aboard an airborne hospital, which seems like a deeply impractical way to do healthcare, but then again, I'm not a doctor, so who knows. Either way, the game allows you to wander through the hospital's halls, meeting the patients and learning about their lives. Maybe you'll even be able to offer them a helping hand, or perhaps just a willing pair of ears, but you'll soon find out something interesting from everyone you talk to. But what really sets Wayward Strand apart from other narrative games is that the NPCs are not going to wait around for someone with main character syndrome to come and set their lives in motion. Time passes just the same for everyone as you play, ensuring that no two playthroughs are exactly alike.
Capcom have been churning out classic games longer than almost anyone else in the business, and they've got the back catalogue to prove it, with 32 of their finest retro gems making their way onto Xbox on the 22nd in the form of Capcom Arcade Second Stadium. Any one of these games will take you straight back to a simpler time, a time when video games had awesome names like Savage Bees, The King of Dragons, and Saturday Night Slam Masters. Oh, and there's also a few called like Street Fighter and Mega Man, which I guess could be decent. With adjustable difficulties and game speeds, these vintage games are more accessible than ever before, and there's even a neat new rewind feature to help you avoid that soul-crushing game over screen. Kids today don't know how good they've got it.
You know, Digimon, right? Digital monsters often claim to be the champions. Well, they were huge in the 90s, and they're back with a brand new game called Digimon Survive. Told in the style of a visual novel, the game's story revolves around a group of school kids who are suddenly transported to a strange world filled with fearsome monsters. Fortunately, some of these mons seem friendly, with 113 different varieties that can be trained to help you survive your strange new surroundings. But while you are free to turn-based battle your way through everything the game throws at you, Digimon Survive also allows you to use your words, everybody. Building relationships, turning enemies into allies, and even changing the course of history itself with the decisions that you make. On top of all these amazing new releases, a few of our favourite games are getting some pretty sweet new content that involves everything from toy cars to the world's cuddliest space marines.
Fall Guys might have snuck onto Xbox for free just before the month ended, but it's definitely going to take up a significant amount of our July playing time. I mean, have you seen the way these guys tumble around? It's literally the greatest thing in the world.
Charley, this isn't looking good, man. This is no, I can't, I'm in a...
And it gets even better with the Spartan Showdown, which runs from the 30th of June until the 4th of July, providing players with the chance to unlock all sorts of Halo-themed gear. Although I am kind of glad these aren't the Spartans we sent in to fend off the Banished.
And Bex, Fall Guys isn't the only place that you can have some bright, colourful, incredibly childish fun this month. Forza Horizon 5 is reaching deep into the nostalgic toy box to bring out a Hot Wheels expansion on the 19th. Featuring 10 iconic toys scaled up to the size of regular cars and 80 different track pieces for players to build their own gravity-defying courses with, this expansion is guaranteed to provide hours of fun for drivers of all ages.
Sea of Thieves hoists the main sail on its 7th season on July 21st, and it's packing enough cool new content to fill a Spanish galleon. This season, you'll all be taking the big job by becoming true sea captains, naming your ship, customizing your cabin, and doing whatever else it is a captain does that justifies such a big fancy hat.
Now, of course, Xbox does love to keep us on our toes, so who knows what else is going to crop up in the month to come, but based on what we know about already, we are in for one heck of a July. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to make sure you're the first to know about everything that's heading our way. Bye-bye!